The war between humans and the Valari had lasted only 5 years, but those 5 years had burned across the stars like wildfire. Worlds turned to ash, fleets shattered, and millions vanished in silence between systems. Lieutenant Elias Wren, decorated sniper of the Terran Vanguard, had seen too much of it. By the end, he no longer dreamed of victory, only of quiet. When the ceasefire was announced, the universe didn't cheer. It just exhaled. The Valari were unlike humans, taller, with crystalline eyes that shimmered like starlight and skin that refracted faint hues depending on their emotions. Their empire had stretched across 20 sectors, ruled by a matriarchal monarchy. And at its center sat Queen Sarathen of Valera Prime, feared, worshipped, and whispered to have never lost a duel in her life. Elias had been sent to represent the Terran military at the peace ceremony, a soldier in a place of thrones. He wore his gray uniform like armor and kept his silence while diplomats spoke of alliances, reparations, and treaties. It wasn't until the Queen herself entered that the room fell into reverent hush. Sarathen moved like lightning, contained, graceful, deliberate, eyes glimmering like polished silver. Her voice was a blend of warmth and command. "Terran emissaries," she said, her gaze sweeping the table. "We stand between ruin and rebirth. Let us not waste this fragile dawn." When her gaze met Elias's, he stiffened. Something unspoken passed between them. Curiosity, maybe recognition, or something older, heavier, impossible. After the ceremony, while the others toasted alliances with cautious smiles, Elias stepped outside into the alien garden beyond the Crystal Palace. The flora shimmered with bioluminescent veins, petals of light breathing softly in the night air. There, he found a small flower, violet at the core, glowing faintly like a heartbeat. A Valari engineer noticed him. "Careful, human," she said. "That's a Naira bloom. It grows only in the royal gardens. It symbolizes deep bond." Elias smiled faintly. "Bond, huh? It's beautiful. Reminds me of Earth orchids." Later that night, during the private exchange of gifts, a tradition meant to seal respect between species, Elias felt oddly compelled. He reached into his uniform and produced the Naira bloom, holding it out toward the Queen. "It's nothing grand," he said awkwardly. "Just something I found beautiful here. Something worth remembering." The chamber went silent. Sarathen froze, her silver eyes widening just slightly. Around her, the Valari nobles began whispering, rapid, shocked syllables in their native tongue. She stood, approached him, and took the flower from his hand with both palms trembling. "Human," she said slowly, her tone strange, heavy, and reverent. "Do you understand what you have done?" Elias frowned. "Given a gift?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "You have offered me your bond mark. Among my people, this is a proposal." The room erupted into chaos. Middle, between two worlds. The next morning, Elias woke to find himself under royal guard. His quarters had been changed from a guest chamber to a suite lined with guards in obsidian armor. Commander Tellere, a Valari officer, glared at him. "You gave our queen a Naira bloom," she said accusingly. "Do you know how many have died for the right to present one?" Elias groaned. "I didn't mean anything by it. On Earth, giving flowers is just a gesture of kindness." Tellere's expression softened slightly. "Among us, it means you offer your spirit. To reject it would shame her lineage. To accept it," she paused, "means she has chosen you." Elias blinked. "Chosen me? For what?" "For union. For life." That was when the Queen herself appeared. Sarathen entered, dismissing the guards with a flick of her hand. She wore no crown now, just silver armor that shimmered faintly in the dawnlight, and a quiet smile that could disarm an army. I know you did not intend this, she said, stepping closer. But the stars care little for intent. Elias stood, uncertain. Then call it off. I'll apologize publicly. Tell everyone it was a misunderstanding. She regarded him, then slowly shook her head. To reject now would mean dishonor. To me, to the Valari throne, and to peace itself. The other houses would call it betrayal. Elias exhaled sharply. So what do I do, Your Majesty? Pretend I'm your suitor? Her lips curved faintly. Pretend nothing. Walk beside me at tonight's ceremony. Speak as one who stands with me. Let the galaxy believe what it will. That evening, when Elias entered the royal hall again, this time standing beside the queen, every eye was on him. Nobles whispered. Military envoys exchanged glances. But Sarah then stood proud, the Naira bloom pinned to her chest, glowing faintly. Today, she declared, we move beyond war, beyond fear. Let this bond symbolize not dominance, but unity. When she took Elias's hand before the cameras of a dozen worlds, he saw not just a monarch, but a woman trying to hold her empire together through ritual and myth. And maybe, he realized, a part of her believed it. In the following days, Elias remained by her side. At first, it was politics, public appearances, peace councils, shared meals where every movement was watched. But slowly, those formalities gave way to quieter moments. In the gardens again, Sarah then removed her crown, letting her long silver hair fall freely. You humans, she murmured, fight for emotions so fiercely, yet you hide it so well. Elias chuckled. And you Valari worship symbols. You built a whole empire on meaning. She tilted her head. Meaning gives life form. Even a lie, believed deeply enough, can become truth. He watched her fingertips trace the Naira bloom she'd preserved in crystal. So, does this life feel true? He asked. Sarah then looked at him for a long moment. More than I expected. Something changed between them then, something unspoken but undeniable. He learned she had lost her mate years ago during the war's beginning. Valari bonds were psychic, eternal. They could feel one another across galaxies. When hers had died, she had felt it rip through her soul like fire. Since then, she had sworn never to bond again. But now, fate, or a misplaced flower, had made her reconsider. Perhaps, she whispered one evening, the universe means to heal through mistakes. Elias wasn't sure what to say, but when her hand brushed his, he didn't pull away, ending the bond of light. The peace between Terrans and Valari was fragile. Many on both sides despised it. Soon, rumors spread that the Queen's human consort was manipulating her, that the Terrans had used seduction to seize power. Rebellion brewed among Valari extremists. One night, as the Queen and Elias traveled to a neutral moon for negotiations, their convoy was ambushed. Explosions tore through the sky. Their escort ships scattered. The royal cruiser took a hit and crashed into the moon's barren surface. When Elias awoke, he was surrounded by smoke and wreckage. The Queen lay unconscious beside him. Her crystal armor cracked, blood glowing faintly from her wounds. He ripped open his emergency kit and stabilized her, ignoring the pain in his own leg. Stay with me, Sarah, then, he muttered. She opened her eyes weakly. They want to end the peace. Then we don't let them, he said, gripping his rifle. Not today. Outside, the rebels approached, shadows moving through the dust. Elias took position, heart pounding, rifle steady. One by one, he picked them off, conserving every shot. When his rifle overheated, he switched to his sidearm. When that emptied, he took up a fallen spear. When the last attacker fell, silence returned to the moon. Elias stumbled back to her, armor scorched, breath ragged. She was sitting up now, eyes glowing brighter than he'd ever seen. "You fought like no human I've seen," she whispered. "You risked your life for me." He smiled weakly. "You think proposals come cheap?" She laughed softly, truly laughed, and it sounded like music across the dust. "Then let me return it," she said. She reached for the cracked Naira bloom, now half-burned, and pressed it to his chest. It glowed once, then dissolved into light. He felt something warm pierce through him, an energy that wasn't his own. "What did you do?" he gasped. "I completed the bond," she said. "Now, whether you wish it or not, we are joined. Our lives are shared." Elias blinked. "You what, Sarah, then that's permanent," she finished gently, "and mutual." In that instant he felt it, the connection. Her pulse, her pain, her heart, and she felt his. Two beings from two worlds tied together by accident and choice alike. The rescue ships arrived hours later. The Queen was safe. The peace treaty, secured through their survival, became legend. Epilogue: The Legend of the Bloom. Months passed. The galaxy settled into uneasy harmony. Trade flowed. War faded into memory. And in every system, people spoke of the strange union that had saved them, how a human soldier and an alien queen had forged peace through an impossible bond. On Valera Prime, in the royal garden, a new species of flower bloomed, part Naira, part Terran orchid. Its color was neither violet nor white, but something between, pulsing softly like two hearts beating in rhythm. When Elias stood beside her again in that same garden, the Queen smiled. "So human," she teased. "Do your people still give flowers as simple gifts?" He chuckled. "Only when we mean it." She leaned close, her silver eyes bright with affection. "Then you'd better not bring me another." He grinned. "Not even one?" "No," she whispered. "I already have the one that mattered." And as the stars above them shimmered like 1,000 watching witnesses, Elias realized that somewhere between a mistake and destiny, a gift had become love, and a peace had become forever.